Nerd is the new sexy.
Welcome, this is Wyldfyre1, and with me is...
Sunrie, I'm finally back.
Yeah, you bastard. This is Nerd is the New Sexy. We welcome you to Season 2, Episode 2 of Season 2. The actual episode is 22.
Yes, 22.
There's a lot of twos there.
A lot of twos.
So, a lot of twos. So
and the first one that is being recorded in Nevada.
Today's episode is about what, Sunrie?
Well, interesting subject, because I thought about this a while ago, and mostly because I'm replaying through Final Fantasy VI Advanced again. If magic had been around since the beginning of time, would we have certain things that we do now, like guns and trains and things like that?
I think they'd all be magic-powered.
You got like Full Metal Alchemist, alchemy drive.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
you know, if you can run around and basically shoot fire out of your fingertips and rain down comets from the sky. Let's just use Final Fantasy's magic to begin with. You know, let's take even FF7, because most people are going to remember that. You can call down meteors, and I'm not talking about holy. I'm talking about like the meteor and stuff like that that type of stuff, or even call down lightning from a distance. What role really does like a rifle have at that point? I mean, you just electrocute somebody in the at the speed of lightning.
Well, if you remember, we're talking Final Fantasy. They did still have rifles and stuff like that in the game. They just weren't as effective as lightning or fire or magic. So
right, but that just begs the question: why would they even develop that? What is the point of that? Because if you're going to have two armies go against each other, what's going to be more effective? A couple of guys with some small arms shooting across the hill hoping to hit somebody, or people calling down fire from the sky and just bombarding each other constantly?
Well, I mean, I could see where the fire from the sky thing would go, but I mean, that would be just straight genocide. I'm going to take out this whole region of this planet. I'm going to call forth this horrible meteor that's going to come down and just fly up your butthole. Yeah, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, I mean, only certain people in the military would have like generals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you use it as a last-ditch effort to screw everybody up.
Well, how about this? Let's even go even further. Let's say like some retard found the spell to do that.
Given what we're able to do in Skyrim, stuff like that, I think we know what retards do with that kind of power.
Oh yeah, but still, I mean, like let's look at real life today. We'll say like a retard finds it, like. And I don't mean like mentally retarded. I mean like an fucking moron, an idiot. Unfortunately, finds this power, this scroll, and it's like magic for dummies. And he reads it, and like he finds out that he can throw fireballs and or pieces of meteor at people. Well, that would just be horrible.
Well, I know, but if it was all done, because you think about it with the. Even like nowadays, people going on genocide or homicide sprees with their car, plowing people through the farmers markets like the old people do, and stuff like that. And you've got idiots who will still go out and get a gun and kind of do the same thing. So I don't think it would change that much, especially if you'd have to have some kind of level of adeptness with it.
I guess so, and then I guess maybe if it was a retard that found it, an idiot that found it and like tried it, probably wouldn't get it right off the bat.
Right, yeah. I mean, it would have to be a skill, like if it was, something like most people can do it type thing, and it's one of those where you have to channel, or you have to have a certain level of intelligence to be able to do it. Kind of like in the games, the higher intelligence generally, the better your magic.
He can cast frog.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it that way. And without getting political here, we know that Congress wouldn't be able to use it against us.
Maybe.
It requires a certain level of intelligence.
Oh, okay. I get it. I see where you're going. Oh, yeah.
So I think the people, us would have more power.
Maybe the right to bear fireballs.
Yeah, but you're telling. Think about how freaking cool this would be, and I'm not saying like war is awesome, because war is awesome in certain ways and horrible in many others.
Well, the one argument to that would be, for anyone that says it isn't, would be like how many kids out there play war.
Right. Like yeah. Thinking back on it, you think that's fun only because I'm alive still. And there's certain cool aspects of it, but the whole shit yourself type scary is bad. But when you think about it, how awesome would it be to see, it's neat seeing rockets shooting through the air and tracers going across. How awesome would it be? You got two armies running at each other. There's lightning bolts, fireballs, ice raining down, bright green flashes of light where people are getting healed. You tell me that wouldn't be an awesome-ass battle to watch.
Well, we've seen it in video games.
Yeah, and it is awesome. Now, how would certain modern-day things change, too? Because think about it. Certain people, you walk around with a lighter or a flashlight. How different would things be? Would we ever have those things if people could have a flame off their fingertip from casting fire or casting a mage light and sending it down a dark hallway?
You know what I would do?
What's that?
I would find a random animal and I would put mage light on it.
Just watch it run around the hillside?
Yeah, it'd be like, I don't know, maybe like a squirrel or something.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Fuck with people. I'd be like, mage light! And I'd watch that fucker take off and it would just creep the shit out of people.
Well, see, what you would do is, what you really should do in that case is you cast mage light on it and then you cast float. So that squirrel is running everywhere in the sky and people are like, look at the UFO!
Yeah, but I mean, look at this way. If I did cast float on it, it probably would just go straight into the sky because it wouldn't know how to control.
Well, once it hits the stratosphere, it'll deflate and die and come back down.
Oh yeah, but I mean, either way, it'll be like a reverse flare. It'll be a floating, glowy thing going straight up.
Oh yeah,
to its death.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have access to natural gas because there would be no need if you could just create fire wherever you were.
Well, if you think about it, you could use magic, just like you see in these video games and or anime as a natural source of power. You could if you shoot electricity from your fucking fingertips. Like fucking Palpatine, you're pretty cool about, keeping your house lit. So it's cool,
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to do some late night reading. Turn on the lamp. Good.
I would cast electricity on a snail.
Yeah, make it like turbo.
Yeah, like an electric snail. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
you'd have to call it like Boogaloo or something
but
it wouldn't be. Then you would have an electric Boogaloo.
Well, damn it! Look at that escargot.
Yeah, look at that escargot.
I wouldn't want it to be fast. I just want everything it touches to shock the shit out of it.
See, I think I would charge a mouse and have a Pikachu.
Well, I was gonna call it a Pika snail.
Pika snail, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Or what's that one Pokemon that's a snail but is like fire, the Magmar or whatever?
I can't remember. I think it's one of the new ones.
Yeah, it is. It's again, we discussed that where we don't know. So, nerds, correct me, yell at me and tell me what it is.
Yeah, please. If you're a Pokemon fan, tell me because I lost track at 150.
Yeah, that's when I lost track.
But magic in real life magic setting would be kind of cool. I mean, imagine walking down the street and seeing, mages and or people who are magic adept to basically lighting like the lights across the town squares or city squares. That'd be pretty awesome. Just going out there whispering a few words and poof, they got light at night. Which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily even have to have light hookups and stuff like that now. But how different would it be for people who weren't magic adept? Would they get screwed?
Well, see, that's a question.
And would they be teaching it in school to make sure that, and you'd have to have a certain magic proficiency to pass grades in addition to your studies?
Well, that's a good question. And we've seen that in shows and anime and in video games where people who aren't magical are treated, like shit.
Yeah, well, even in Chrono Trigger. I mean, look at that within Hasa and
Zeal.
Zeal and
Yeah, so you had... You have situations where people who can use magic will look down at other people who can't use magic. Yeah,
because you'd end up with people who are very well adept. Being like, okay, we're in charge. You're gonna do what we say because you can't beat us with my magic power.
Yeah, or they just blow each other away with magic. Vote for me.
Yeah.
Instead of
vanish.
Yeah, vanish. Let's talk about magic in video games lately. Magic in video games, in my opinion, isn't as magical lately.
I agree. I think they try to make it too science explanation type too realistic, and it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Well, yeah, it's not even that. I mean, let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. Back in the day, like you had spells like Ultima, that did this
God, yeah.
amazing fucking, and you're like, oh, it's cool. It's like a horrible dome of death.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they dumbed down the magic spell effects. Like, fireball is just a fireball. It's not very.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think part of that is the first person perspective with a lot of it, and being 3D, and so you're really seeing it. So they're not overemphasizing a lot of like what it looks like to impress you because it's 2-dimensional side scroll.
Well, you remember Diablo, the original Diablo, the first fireball is one of the most amazing and overpowered spells in the game. And it was awesome.
Yeah, you duped that thing, and then you had and you hit one person and 6 people 10 feet away die.
Yeah, and there was a lot of damage done by that. Yeah. Well, later on down the line, you see fireball turn into like this.
Yeah, there's a poof.
Yeah, it's not. It's almost like a
throwing a match head at somebody is what.
It's it's like Kim Kardashian queefing.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
And you just don't want to be anywhere involved with that.
Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere in that vicinity. But the magic in video games just isn't as like pizzazz as it once was. It's not as in your face and awesome, You get chain lightning. I remember when chain lightning was fucking amazing, and now you see it in video games. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it goes 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, Now I understand they're trying not to overpower shit and make shit a little still difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's one of my biggest problems with stuff like that. And I'm so glad that, again, I'm going to bring up Diablo 3 since they've changed. I want to feel that when I play those games and I've got those powers, I want to feel like a walking death machine.
Yeah.
God of go fuck yourself. That's the beauty of playing those games. I don't want you to make things more challenging for me when I'm a sneaky thief that has, mind control powers. I don't want that to be dumbed down. I don't balance your game to try to make things still have a challenge. The point of me playing and getting those powers is to go, I am now a god.
Yeah, and you worked your way up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't balance your game to fuck your player.
Yeah, literally, I want my character to walk in a place and be like, a god am I.
You hear us, Bungie? You hear us, Bungie?
No, they don't. They don't give a shit.
No, they don't, but that's okay.
And I'm not talking about... Now, if this was a multiplayer game... Now, I will give it Bungie on the one part where they're trying to bounce for multiplayer, but the problem is they're only thinking about multiplayer.
Yep.
But, if it came down like something like... Let's say Might and Magic was like Battlefield. And, oh God, now I'm trying to design a video game in my mind here. So, instead of like modern, running around with cool MTARs and SCARs and, M95 Bravos and stuff like that, I wouldn't expect to be able to go in there and one-shot everybody because, well, that's what Firebolt should do. Yeah. But if I'm playing a game like Skyrim and I've got max, I should be able to hit a deer and watch it go 4 mountains away.
Yeah. Which is half the fun.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I loved about Oblivion, when you were able to make your own spells and you can do everything, and if you had your stats just right, you could throw a fireball and it nukes everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was good. And just imagine muggings in real life with that kind of stuff.
Right? You see people walk up with their palm up and be like, don't make, with lightning all around it, and just go, don't make me shock you for a wallet.
Seriously, like, give me your money or I'm going to turn you into a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that scene of Willows, like somebody gets all ticked off, like, let's say your cable company is charging you too much, and over the phone you just start screaming, you're all pigs, and you hear squealing on the other side.
Oh,
that would be awesome.
Or an angry ex-wife. Ooh.
Oh, you see? That's where, because, things are already crazy with stuff like that. Can you imagine, dating a witch, like a real-life witch, like a magic, or even let's say she's even a red mage. So after she gets done hitting you with a tonfa, she turns you into, like, a frog and just starts laughing and then, like, makes you even smaller.
Well, she can heal you and then beat you again.
Yeah, and then he heals you and beats you again. Yeah, and good luck finding a maiden's kiss to break that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of cool concepts that could come with magic being a real life thing. It's too bad. maybe in some weird universe, in some space-time continuum, that there is something like that. But
yeah. And it would be kind of cool. I mean, what if it was one of those things too, where kind of like Dragon Ball or anything else, stuff like that, where you start to learn it.
Yeah, but
and then you have to practice.
The problem with
the more
Dragon Ball was
the better you got.
The problem with Dragon Ball was it was only a handful of people could do it.
Well, actually, no. If you really pay attention, anybody could do it. It's just certain people would always be better, but it's just like life.
Yeah. Well, only a handful of people were really good at it then. How about that? And most of them had to be from another fucking planet.
But I think that would be cool. You learn, you start off learning fire, like a little fire bolt, and you can use that to you're lighting stoves or you're lighting a campfire
or light someone on fire.
Yeah, and think about it, that would actually be really useful if there was a forest fire or anything like that. You would have a bunch of firefighters. People who would go to firefighters were people who would excel at ice or water magics.
Yeah.
You shoot ice out of the sky, put fires out and stuff like that. So, or if anybody,
just try and freeze everything.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to worry about grease fires because you just put it out with ice and on your on your own. And I think it's stuff like that makes me go, how much stuff would be different?
Yeah, there would be. I mean, cars would probably be magically fucking powered.
Yeah, if we even had cars at all, because what if there was certain magics and stuff like that, kind of
carpet.
Polymorphing and stuff like that. You could take a horse and you could turn it into whatever your mind could come up with, and maybe and out super fast, and but when you're done, you fold it back up.
But then some people would be pissed off because you abused the horse. How dare you do that to a horse? It's better now.
Yeah. Well, you can make your own racing snail, where you travel at the speed of darkness because it is instantaneous.
Fuck. Fucking never-ending story.
Part 2.
Oh yeah, that was part 2.
That was part 2. It was actually the second part of the book.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the second movie, but
it wasn't. It's not as bad as you remember, but it's
Yeah. I mean, well, you know what it reminded me of? It was it was almost it didn't even feel like the Neverending Story. It felt more like the Dark Crystal.
That's true.
It had kind of. You remember those weird ass monsters? Those
the
things
the
that came out of the ground. Yeah, it reminded me of the monsters from the Dark Crystal. I'm they just fucking recycled those guys. Yeah. Just fucking recycled those guys. I wonder how much they paid Jim Henson for this shit.
Right.
But magic being a real life thing. Imagine being able to conjure something up out of nowhere.
Yeah, if you're thirsty, you make some water.
Or summon a demon.
Yeah.
Be a necromancer,
Yeah, see, that's where things would be really cool. So imagine how cool Tom Petty's videos would be, or even Danzig's videos. How awesome Danzig's videos would be.
Well, Danzig's videos would probably be extremely horrible.
Yeah. Or, Alice Cooper, he would probably come up with some really cool ideas. Because what I love is how everything he was doing was to make fun of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I think that would be pretty interesting. Rob Zombie would definitely have actual zombies.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially if he was a necromancer.
I'd be a necromancer. I'd be but imagine that. I want to say hi to Grandma.
Yeah. Hi, Grandma. Okay, go away.
Come back to life. Hi, Grandma. Okay, go back.
Yeah.
Why aren't you going away?
Yeah.
Stop nibbling on me, Grandma. This is not appropriate.
See, but then you would have to, because you would have to worry about stuff like that. Because then, can you imagine? Because in games where magic is real, the enemies always have some kind of counter ability. So can you imagine going out one day and there's a squirrel sitting on your fence and he gives you the stink eye, and now suddenly you're turned into fucking stone until someone comes around with a cure.
You see, I would probably turn shit to stone for no reason.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, that squirrel looks cool. Bling, stone. Oh, look, it's a doe. Bling, stone. Oh, look, it's a bear.
Yeah, but as the good guys, you never really ever got that kind of power in most games.
Well, you did in in some of the earlier Final Fantasy games. It just never really worked like it did for the bad guys.
Yeah. Bling, stone. You're petrified.
Yeah. You know, especially in Final Fantasy IV, where the two twins get
Oh
stoned,
God, yeah.
and they're like, "We're trying to save you," and they're like, "No, you can't save them. It's by their own free will." Bullshit.
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Ask Aerith how well the Phoenix Down worked for her.
Well, Aerith didn't get a chance. She got stabbed.
Life. Yeah, the life magic.
Yeah, she got stabbed. Sephiroth penetrated her like no other.
So many people wanted to.
Yes,
yeah.
Cloud included.
Yeah. Now that's always a good question too. Is why is it that magic spells like life work, except for when they don't work? It's almost like it. And I understand it's in there a lot for game mechanic, but you can't have it in there as a game mechanic and then anytime that you would just go, well, just use life 2 or life 3 or re-raise.
It's plot.
Yeah, it's like suddenly it doesn't work now. And everybody acts like there's no such thing. Same with Cure.
It's like dead. What do we do? We just put her in this fucking Mako water shit, and we're just gonna let her die. We're just gonna watch her drown. Well, she can't drown if she's dead already. But you get my point. We're gonna watch her fall to the bottom of this fucking boat, and we're not gonna think about using a Phoenix Down. You know, worse shit's been happening. You've had like magic shit like beat the crap out of you, and you died, and you brought each other back.
Yeah,
but just
like you've literally had squirrels explode in your face, and you were okay.
One stab.
But now all of a sudden, 10 hours ago in gameplay time, you had people shooting you with machine guns and throwing grenades at you.
Yeah.
You get stabbed by a sword, and suddenly, nope, can't come back from this.
Well, you know what gets me is like, why didn't anyone go? Hey, I got a Phoenix Down. Cloud, don't put her. Don't put her in there.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with Cure. You'll see these cutscenes where everybody's on the ground groaning and holding themselves, and they're so hurt. So, cast Cure.
Well, I think that just takes away from the actual like the drama from the scene. But yeah, I mean, they
at the same time, it's so frustrating. It's like, why is everybody hurt? What do you mean I can't put this person back in my party because they have a broken leg? Cast Cure.
Cure fixes everything.
Yeah.
Heal.
It's like, I've had monsters explode in my face. I've had dinosaurs bite my face. I've had soldiers cut my legs off, and I keep casting Cure. But now suddenly he sprained his ankle, and I can't use Cure.
You looked at me funny. I can't go on.
But I think that would also cause some problems, though. If you had like the ability for Cure and stuff like that. Now humans have a natural regeneration ability up to a certain point, and other animals obviously have much higher ability to do so. I honestly think that if you had a world where you had like Cure and heavier Cure and stuff like that, let's just like Cure 1, 2, 3, whatever like that, cure cancer, type thing.
Cure cancer.
Yeah,
that would be heal.
Yeah, that would just be heal.
Yeah.
You could and see in those worlds, tonic doesn't mean a gin and tonic. It means an actual like, hey, I feel better.
Well,
not that gin and tonic doesn't.
Gin and tonic
start
makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does make you feel better for a while. Yeah.
It's just a different better.
Yeah. Only it lowers constitution.
Yeah. Intelligence as well.
And intelligence, yeah. But let's say, because you've got people who are, to the extreme hypochondriac, not hypo, who are constantly thinking they're sick and they're always going to the doctor. Now, you have a world where pretty much every kind of minor injury, bumps, scrapes, bruises, you get beat up by a bully, you get beat up by the cops get beat up by a criminal, you're in the middle of a battlefield, and you take a mortar next to you and, you get enough cure and, you're okay. You would end up with a bunch of people who the slightest amount of pain would not be able to tolerate it anymore.
Well, here's a question. What if, like with all these cures and all these insane ways of like being able to fix, all these crazy problems, I blew my leg off, I need a cure, it's back. How much longer till someone becomes immortal?
Yeah. Like how exactly would you be able to constantly be able to be fixed? And at what point does the magic go, okay, no, not that. It doesn't heal that.
Yeah, well, yeah, where's the line?
Because it's all cellular damage no matter what.
Yeah, you can be close to death.
Yeah.
You can be close to death and it'll bring you back from close to death to back to like, I was, before you got hurt. So,
yeah.
How much longer? And that's another thing, evolution of like magic and, for us it's science. Well, when are they going to get to the point where cure becomes immortality? I'm going to cast immortality on myself.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be life or re-raise?
Maybe, but I'm talking like with a point where
you just don't
Wolverine
die.
status.
Oh, Wolverine status. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And how much would you be able to be, would you have a limit where your body just says, no, I can't take the magic anymore?
I would think that there would have to be, let's look at this from a standpoint of like, how these game mechanics work. By doing that, by using magic like Cure, you have to use magic like a magic source. So we'll say your source. So in this case, for something like that to work, they'd have to have a pretty much unlimited magical source.
Yeah. Well, okay. So think about it like, let's say that chi and ki and stuff like that, contra or whatever you want to call it, mana, well, no, I'm talking about stuff like that people theorize is, working its way around the earth right now. You channel ki and chi and stuff like that. And you can, you punch things, you can stop, heavier blows than you would normally be able to take. And I've seen some really interesting stuff with things like that. Like the Tibetan, I don't want to say Tibetan monks, but I think it is. They will literally go walking around outside and they will be completely drenched, go into a couple of caves, and they all sit there and meditate, and the temperature rises 30, 40 degrees. Just these guys, and it dries their clothes to the point where there's actually steam coming off of things. Now, what's interesting is when they're taken away from that mountain place, they cannot reproduce it. But anywhere around that area, they can do it. So there's something that they're channeling there.
It's magic,
right? It's magic, if you will. So you would have to have a world where all of that is in constant supply.
Yeah.
Or at least you would have the ability to tap into it. Like maybe some places wouldn't have as much magic power. Like let's think of it like rain. You go into a desert, you're not going to have a whole lot of source of water. You got to find it. So you would have deserts the equivalent of that, but for like mana or magic points, whatever it is that they just call it mana.
Yeah.
And have access to that. So some parts of the world would still not have, a lot of it, or even think about it like oil. There's bigger deposits of oil in different places. There's oil kind of everywhere if you know how to find it, but some areas have a bigger source of it.
Well, say you want to summon fire, you go somewhere where fire can be summoned, where there's a lot of heat in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, kind of like Airbender.
Yeah, which is Airbender actually made a really good, like the explanation for their magic and whatever. The bending in that series actually is amazing because
I never gotten through all of it. I've only watched up to a certain point in the actual cartoon.
I watched it all on Netflix.
You're better. Yeah, you need to explain that then.
It's through like motions. It's been forever since I've seen it too. But
that's right. They have the different techniques.
It's through dances and motions and like almost like a kata. It's how they control it. Well, it's with fire. They bring the heat from the air or whatnot. With water, it's the moisture.
Yeah.
With the earth, that's self-explanatory. Stuff like that. Or if water's nearby, it's water.
Right.
Wind is fucking wind.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. So
let me tell you, where I live in Nevada, it's pretty windy. They'd be really successful here.
We actually got a little wind here too. But
yeah.
But the thing is, it's interesting how when they put science to magic, it pisses me off. A good example being Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. That kind of ticked me off when they try to say, "Oh, there's an explanation for it." No, it's space magic. Just leave the Force being space magic. Yes. Please don't explain it.
Yes.
They even called it a mystical force.
Yes.
Just we don't know how it works. It's just the Force. Leave it alone.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Thank you, Disney, for not bringing any of that up again.
Oh God, yeah. I just watched that again with my parents the other day. But anyway, usually it pisses me off when they do that. When people add a little bit of science to magic, because I think magic should be magic. Magic is magic because it's magic. How about that?
Yeah.
But in this case, in the last Airbender, when they added a little bit of science to it, and even later on with certain other aspects of the show, it actually made it interesting. So, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I forget what game I was playing. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, but they did this, and it's a game you've played, so you're probably going to remember. It's kind of the same thing where it would show, like, in the instruction booklet, and this is back, I know people, I know I know for the younger audience, an instruction booklet. What the fuck is an instruction
What's
booklet?
that?
You mean like when you buy a fridge and it comes with a piece of paper? Yeah, like that. They used to have a booklet that would have artwork and history and explanations of things and how to play the game and just random crap with really cool stuff in it.
Not just a picture.
Yeah, not just a picture of go to this website for the PDF. Fuck you! I want to play my game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's if you get anything at all. Because when I got Batman, there was nothing in there.
Oh, did you get a used copy?
No, it wasn't Batman. What was it? Maybe it was Battlefield or something. No, it wasn't Battlefield. I forget what it was, but I opened it up and there was nothing in there. It was just the disc. A lot of them
don't have shit in there anyway, but it's just the picture or whatever. But yeah.
So back then, and like I said, you probably remember that. You'll probably remember the name of this game, but I remember the picture would show like the different hand positions, and it would like have like the fake writing from whatever language they spoke in there, but then like underneath it would be like an explanation. The inner warmth from the user is to be channeled, such and such, and it was like explaining how the magic worked, but it wasn't science really. It was just an explanation, like the different hand position for like healing. It's like the user channels the will to understand the disease or such and such.
I have an idea.
You know what? It might have been Arcanum. It might have been Steamwork. What do you call it? Arcanum, Steamwork and Magica or something like that. Yeah. It was one of those old games like that.
Yeah, it was one of those games. It was one of those. Yeah,
I think it was Baldur's Gate. Someone's going to remember this game because it actually shows like little sketches of hand positions with little tiny explanations that fade away. Like you're reading a scroll, and it's just a piece in the instruction booklet. It wasn't a main part of it, but it would explain like how the person was able to do different things and why the magic worked, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
and I would love to see something like that again. If somebody writes a story or anything like that, I would love that kind of stuff, like in the back of the book with sketches, and it'd be awesome. And you don't have to give me credit if you do it.
No, you do. You do.
Yeah. You know what you do. You heard it here. You say, "I thank you, Sunrie. You are my inspiration, my muse, my everything."
No, you see,
it wasn't for you.
Mispronounced inspiration. Inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration. But yeah, I think that kind of stuff is cool. But I agree when they try to science it out.
It's when they science it up, and that's what fucks it up for everybody. There shouldn't. Magic is mystical and awesome and mysterious because of its magic.
That's why it's called magic.
Yeah, it's very magical.
Yeah. And we're not talking David Copperfield magic.
Oh yeah, or David Blaine.
And I don't mean David Copperfield like the book. What's a book?
What are you talking about? That thing you download on your Kindle? What's that?
Yeah. What's a page? I mean, like a web page.
Paper? What? Yeah. Fuck, man. You're going back in time now. You're blowing my mind.
These guys are fucking old.
Paper. That's what I roll my joint with, man.
You're right, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, but seriously.
Magic being a real source and stuff like that. It'd be really cool to go into a doctor, and you kind of tell them what's wrong and not have, magic be like some dude choking a chicken, like an actual chicken, not jacking off, but, choking a chicken in the corner, burning sage, and lighting 15 candles while dancing around in his underwear.
I'm sorry, I just got a fucking mental image of him choking a chicken and she's like,
Yeah.
He's like,
and I don't mean not cracking its neck, but actually choking it, so you're just hearing.
He's like choking it just enough for it to get a little air, like it's a sexual asphyxiation thing.
And the chicken's just looking at the chicken's just looking at you like, you asshole, you got sick,
Then it lays an egg.
Yeah. And they crack that over your head, and suddenly you feel better. I'm not talking about that kind of magic.
That's more voodoo.
Yeah.
It's like voodoo magic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choke this chicken. I'm gonna smack it a few times because I want it to turn on. I want it to turn on.
There's the egg.
And then the egg comes out, and you have to eat the fucking yolk, and looks like a Cadbury.
Yeah, and then you're supposed to magically feel better or get $100, in a week. Not that I've done that. I'm talking about, going in and you actually got, you're sitting there and the doctor asks what's wrong, and you're like, there's like these little hand gestures. There's a bright blue or green flash of light, and like little sparkles fall down across you.
Sparkles.
And you feel better. and then he charges you $200 for the office visit.
Yeah, well, that's about right. That's about realistic right there.
Yeah, that's your copay.
And that's sparkly green because he's giving you your green weed card.
You're right, yeah.
California joke.
Yeah, I mean, think about how cool it would be though. Your car doesn't start in the morning, and you shock it.
Well, how about even better? Not even your car. And that doesn't always work because it might be something that doesn't have to do with power.
Hey, look, I kicked my VCR plenty of times and it always fixed it.
Well, that wasn't magic. That was just science.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking like, and to go with what you're saying, like say your car was snowed in.
Yeah, you just melt the road in front of you.
Melt the road in front of you.
Yeah.
But magic could be fun in a real life circumstance. But the problem with that is imagine like you and your neighbor are having an argument. Imagine the fireballs going across the street.
Yeah, but I think, and that would be taking it into where all of a sudden people had the ability to. I think if people were always around it and doing stuff with it, it wouldn't be such an issue. I think that even in more crowded settings, because people would be so used to magic and stuff like that, that they wouldn't be using that to really sell all their differences. Now, there would come a time, because we've seen plenty of videos on YouTube and Tosh.0 and funniest videos where neighbors just go apeshit for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they end up in a fist fight.
Yeah.
Now, people don't generally go around punching people for not getting a taco, but we've seen people get mad at Taco Bell for not getting a taco.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunately, remember what I said retard earlier? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would have to worry about the retard aspect of it. But if everybody in Taco Bell can put out a fire or shock the guy into submission, people would tend to be a lot more calm, I think, and until you hit that absolute retard level,
I have a question for the fans out there, the female fans especially.
Yeah. If
you're on your rag, is it blood magic?
I think it would be blood magic, and that is the most evil of the magics.
Yes. A lot of video games say so.
Yeah, and trust me, that would be choking the chicken in the corner while somebody's screaming.
And it would be the chicken.
It wouldn't be the chicken.
But yeah, what about time magic? Like, think about time magic for a minute. Like, stop. Imagine all the horrible crimes that can be committed with slow or haste or stop.
Yeah, see, and that would be an issue. You would have to either make it a law that you couldn't use certain kinds of magics and things like that. I think there would be laws, and this is where we'll get a little political, not comparatively, but theoretical political. Where would you have to draw that line? Because at some point you would have to say that anybody who uses time magic is committing some kind of crime. Because, like you said, you walk into a bank at the time that the vault's opening or something like that, and you cast stop. You take everything, or you cast stop on somebody and proceed to beat them to a pulp and take money or items from them.
What would fix that as far as laws go?
What's that?
Would be that time magic is prohibited outside of your own household.
Most people want to follow some kind of law.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that effect, most people just wouldn't. They wouldn't use that, and I think that even with people having that ability and getting angry, most people, that still wouldn't be a thought in their mind that I'll just do this. Because I don't think most people, like even in our world, if they get mad at someone, just go, well, I'm just going to go over there and kill them. I'm going to shoot them 3 times in the head. That's just what I'm going to do.
I don't know. I
think
people
don't do that.
I think people fantasize about that.
Oh, you fantasize about it, but you don't go out and do it.
They don't think about it as like a thought that they're really going to do. But I mean,
so I think that even with access to that kind of stuff, I think with certain rules in place, that most people would follow it.
Yeah.
And you would have to be, there would have to be some kind of counterspell to those stuff like that too, though. Because think about work.
To kill someone for you, like,
right?
That would be kind of more. That'd be kind of difficult to solve that murder. Think about that.
Yeah.
So
unless there was some kind of
go get him, Cthulhu.
Yeah. All hail Cthulhu, 1,000 years of darkness.
Oh, don't hurt Cthulhu.
Yeah. So you would have to have some kind of counterspells or something like that to be able to protect yourself against that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or if there was, of some kind of, there would have to, I think if with that kind of stuff, there would be some kind of, and this is going to sound real funny, but forensic magic science to be able to trace.
Sorry.
Yeah, think about it.
Forensic magic science.
Okay, no, yeah. Listen to what I'm saying here. Okay, so it would be like Law and Order Demon Hunting Division.
Oh God.
So there would be some kind of technique that people would be able to go into that kind of crime scene, determine that this was a summon, and be able to track some kind of magic tracer that we would develop a way of being able to trace back to a specific person.
Well, think about it this way. Actually, time magic would fix that.
Yeah, because then you could reverse time. Well, that would be if time magic would allow you to go in reverse.
Well, I'm gonna assume that it's possible.
Okay, let's just say that it's open. It's just open.
Yeah.
That you have access to all of this. Yeah, and well, see, and then after that, you could just use Raise or Zombie on the corpse. Who did this? Okay, you're dead again.
Hey, you were alive like at 6:45 on Tuesday. Who brought you back?
Right.
Oh, my uncle grandpa. Oh fuck. Okay, well we'll go meet your uncle grandpa.
Yeah, and then you go after Uncle Grandpa and you find it's like, oh yeah, this guy killed me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you know what? That might have fixed everything to begin with because the person who killed him once already, so he's happy. All the problems are solved.
Yeah. Well, unless life only worked for like 30 seconds, kind of like on Torchwood when they used those gloves, they would be able to bring him back for 30 seconds and like, okay, so what happened? And then they're dead again, and they could never bring him back.
Well, let's look at it this way as well. In certain aspects of magic, you have to use constant mana and or whatever you want to call your magic. In this case, we'll call it mana to keep this corpse going. Now, imagine using life on someone.
Oh, right, and you'd have to continue to use that. Now, seeing that would also bring up the other question, the other thing. Where would people get the source? Because everything in order, and it's mostly for game balance, so you just don't walk around with holding the firebolt out in front of you and burninating everything to the ground.
Which I wish we could, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let's say that there is some kind of extinguishable force that you use in order to channel this, like we were saying, like mana and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's say that it's kind of everywhere in the world, but there's certain things that allow you to regenerate, kind of like when you're real hungry and your blood sugar's low. You eat something, your blood sugar comes back up, and you've got energy again. You can run, you can talk, you're happy.
Yeah.
There would have to be some kind of drain on the psyche so that you notice somebody doing something. It's like, okay, that person's low on magic. They're low on the mana, so they act a certain way or they display a certain thing. What would be around? Because in games you have mana potions and ether and stuff like that.
I could tell you what it would be for this day and age.
What?
It would be fucking energy drinks.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, see, I think that's more Mega Man.
No, it's totally perfect. I'm just saying, this day and age, with how things are nowadays, it would be an energy drink. It'd be like Monster or, a Red Bull or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You take one of those and you'd be like, I got my magic back.
So that would be cool, too, for like you're hosting a party and you go slam. You're like, guys, I got this awesome trick. You slam an energy drink and like you blow up your fire pit.
Well, what'd be funny is if you drank like, say you're full on mana.
Yeah.
And you drank a whole, like 2-3 things of Red Bull. Would you just explode?
No, you'd probably fart rainbows and shit gold dust or something.
Give birth to a unicorn.
Yeah, you'd give birth to a unicorn. Right, ridden by a leprechaun or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. See, or maybe you would have to actually have Lucky Charm.
I do got a rabbit's foot.
Yeah, see, it wasn't very lucky for the rabbit, was it?
Oh, no, but it was lucky for me. That's all that matters. No one gives a shit about the rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got 3 other feet.
Jesus. I hope you got the lucky. Well, apparently you did get the lucky one.
I did too. It's lucky it's still alive. So
you're right.
It is pretty lucky for the rabbit. So
yeah, so it was lucky. Yeah.
Superstitions. That'll be a good one for another podcast.
Oh yeah. We'll probably talk about that.
Superstitions and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as video game magic, if you guys have any idea of like a good video game that had like a good magic concept, let us know.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan. The first one I was really exposed to was Final Fantasy VI. Then it was 3 on the SNES. Actually, no, it was 2 with you.
Yeah,
but I liked 6 better. But before that, I was playing Chrono Trigger because that was my first RPG. And actually, I guess technically it was Illusion of Gaia, which the Europeans know as Illusion of Time, which I think is a better title.
Honestly, I think so too. But I liked Gaia as a concept.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that game. I mean, that's actually where I got based my Freedan from, and actually got the name. And I don't know where they got the name, but I like it. But yeah, and I still love the magic in Chrono Trigger, and I love the concept of it is nobody had the ability because the ability had been sealed away.
Yeah.
And then once you got it, it was just unlocked for you again. And you could, certain people had certain elements that were kind of assigned to them and things like that.
That's another game that has to do with magic and science, like working side by side.
Yeah. Yeah, because that one, I think it was Lavos created magic users.
He crashed to the earth and kind of advanced
he screwed with people's DNA.
Yeah.
Wanted that. And actually from what I totally remember, the people of Zeal were actually using Lavos's energy through their manipulate
the Mammon machine.
Yeah. And that was what gave them the ability to use magic.
Yep.
And Lavos got pissed and destroyed Zeal.
Yeah. So they were like the downfall of themselves.
Yeah. It is a good game. We're making fun of it because we love Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it was a good game. I wasn't I don't honestly for the Chrono Cross, I probably could have went without Radical Dreamers being a part of the game.
It turns out that it's not.
What?
It is now no longer canonical in the timeline. It is one of those separate dimension what if timelines.
Oh, so Chrono Cross is just like a what if?
Chrono Cross is the true continuum of Chrono Trigger, but Radical Dreamers is only one of the what if scenarios.
Fuck.
Yeah, it gets real complicated. I'll explain it one of these days. Maybe we'll talk about that as one of our.
Well, yeah, we'll do a Chrono Trigger / Cross episode or something. But Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't tell me there's a part. And for the longest time, they're like, it's a part of this and that. And that's another thing I hate about game companies. Yeah. And that's what I hate about game companies this day and age. They go through and they make these fucking games. They make this storyline, and at that time, it is fucking concrete.
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the line, they realize, maybe I didn't like the way we did this, so I'm going to change it. No! It's either you do it or you don't. Fucking fuck.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, the game was good. It was. The music was amazing. It was all remixed version of Chrono Trigger's original music, but it was still an amazing version of that.
Yeah, and what I love is I remember one time we were talking about the magic in that one versus Final Fantasy VI, and you said something about, well, when you use the magic in that game, what I don't like is how if there's background effects like snow or rain, it stops and then the magic happens. And you said, it's because the game engine can't handle it. And my retort to you was, no, the magic's just so powerful that nature stops. Which is it's totally bullshit, and I actually like what is it, Saga Frontier 2. Now that game, I cannot beat the first scenario for anybody. That game angers me to no end.
So difficult. I got both of them.
Yeah, and I've got both of them too, and I've beaten all of the first one. I've gotten all of the endings. It is an amazing game. It is hard as well, but not as hard as 2. And I like how on that one, if you could not channel magic, you could not be nobility.
Yeah.
And so in return, you would use steel, because steel and iron and anything metal would counter magic.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool concept to me, that all of this metallic modern day stuff protects you from the magic and will even cancel magic out.
Well, the stories and continuation of stories were good in that game too.
Yeah.
It was just it was a very interesting game to play.
Yeah.
Did they make a third one?
Nah, I'm sure there is. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
You might not have gotten it, or it might have been called something else.
It was called Happy Doodah Butt Fuck Sunday.
Yeah. No, that was, I think that was a Leisure Suit Larry game.
Leisure Suit Larry. Oh, that's a game right there with some magic in it.
Yeah.
The magic of herpes.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
That was the game that came with it. It's like, okay, as soon as you get to this point, rub your balls on this part of the card. And it's just like, I got herpes.
I remember I got the... It's funny you said, I know I told you this story too. I played the game years and years ago. I played the first one, and there was a save file on the game already that because I couldn't get past like the first part of it. I don't know if I just lost interest or what. But I was like, fuck this. Well, anyway, it got the save file that was like the last person, and you get to choose either to fuck her or do whatever. And it's funny. I remember the first thing I did was I want to fuck her. And it's like, you want to use a condom? Fuck no, fuck condoms. And like after they get it on, his crotch was glowing. It's like, you got an STD. You just got gonorrhea. I'm like, fuck. His crotch is like,
Yeah.
Cracked me the fuck up. I could not stop laughing because I watched this. It did this pixelated crotch glow in the it was fucking
Yeah.
There's
different kind of magic.
Yes, the magic of herpes.
Yeah. We've had a good time with this. We'll definitely be coming back. I'm so glad to be back. Not that, we don't like having Gambit with us. It's just, I like being here.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's good to have you back, fuckface.
Oh God, I know. It's so good. So true story real quick before this. So Wild calls me up because last week I had some family stuff come up, so I wasn't able to do this. And so he makes sure that I can do it this week. I get back where I'm staying, and I literally text him with autocorrect, "Let's fuck."
Yeah.
Which I then quick because it was supposed to be "Let's rock."
Yeah. But the thing is I thought he really said "let's fuck" as in let's do this.
Yeah.
So
you didn't even bat an eye. You're just like, oh yeah, that's Sunrie.
We got to do a shout out for the person who got last week's question correct.
Oh, nice.
So congrats. She even got the middle name, first, middle, last name, and what she did. So what the job was for Harley Quinn. So good work. She said the name was Harleen Frances Quinzel.
Oh, she got it right.
Yeah, psychologist. Good job, Squeekers. And I think the question today, I'll let you think of the question for this week, Sunrie.
In Ghostbusters, we call the green floating, almost mascot-y ghost Slimer. But he's never called Slimer in the movie at all. And the studio named him something different. What did they call him?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's your question. That's this week's question, everybody. What did the studio call what we know today as Slimer?
As Slimer, yep.
All right, everyone. That's the end of this episode. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week with a brand new nerd topic.
Yeah, see you next week. Stay sexy, nerds.